How's it going, everyone? This is Adam Thiele from Thiele Art Studio, and today we are continuing that series I started called Painting California. We're going to explore all the different landscapes that California has to offer, specifically Southern California. On today's episode, we are outside of Oxnard, where there are some beautiful fields and mountains and some palm trees. We're going to try to capture it all in one painting. All right, everyone, let's get started on painting this beautiful valley behind me, right outside of Oxnard, California. Let's get our painting supplies set up and start painting. Need to get some turpentine put in, and I'm going to get my palette ready, and we should be ready to go. Still have some paint on here from the last painting I did, but I would need a little more. I like bright colors, bright paintings, and I think this is what we'll have here today. Got our yellows. We need a little more blue. Blue's hiding back here. A little more white. Maybe you guys can see a little bit of what I'm doing here. I usually pre-mix my orange, but today I'm going to put some orange onto my palette before I get started, because I think we're going to need that kind of that richness coming underneath. All right. Bristles are a little stiff right now starting off. Okay, here we go. Let's lay out that painting. I got to figure out where I'm going to put all my shapes and patterns. I'm going to start with, I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but there's an old water tower. It's right over the right side of my canvas. I'm going to try to use that to start off, and I'm going to use just a kind of something in the background here, just so I can get started and lay out my horizon line. We have a few, this is our main horizon line, and then we have a path where tractors drive, a little dirt road right there. We're gonna have some of our orchard right here, one row, and then this is kind of another road in the background and fence line. These are just some shrubs and bushes there, but then you're going to see the other tops of these lemon trees in a row. Now I'm just lining it out so I can go back in with my colors, trying to get our perspective right and our angles. And so we got, I think this water tower is going to be moved over a little bit. It's going to be over here. It's going to be a little smaller. And we're going to have a bigger tree. It's going to be in that area, but we're not going to see that now. Let's go ahead and lay out our middle ground of tree line. And we have some palm trees over here. They don't quite reach the angle where I'm going to be painting into my little scene, but I'm going to incorporate those just because they look so pretty. So I'm going to have those over here just as a rough guideline. You don't have to paint exactly what you see. You got to shape it up so it looks pleasant to the eye. So we have one set of mountains here. They have some houses nestled in them all along here. We'll paint. And the larger mountain range is kind of midway up in the background. It's more jagged, more pronounced, but it dips down here, right? It kind of disappears. So that's kind of where we're going to start. Now I'm going to lay in some of the colors. I'm going to start, I always like to start with the sky, work my way down. That's just the way I do it. Lots of ways to do it. Now I know where that tree is going to be. We don't need to see it. I'll remember. Just paint over that. Just an outline. So now we're looking at where else will there be some blue, light blue, kind of like we're mixing with the white. Where else in the picture can I incorporate that color before I put the brush down and switch to some other tones? So I stand back and look. A lot of, I think let's differentiate. We're going to come in with the mountains here shortly, but let's just get the mountain range differences here. So we can see we still have one in the back. This will help me remember where that is. I'm going to bring some of that blue down here, just along my path. I think that'll be a nice color. Okay. Let's get some of the tan in there of the dirt. So I'm going to mix a little bit of my yellow and my brown here. I mean, if you want me to tell you the exact colors, I guess I can, but I don't always remember what they're called. Cadmium, brown, sienna, all those. I just kind of go with it. All right, so this is, let's get some of this dirt road. That's going to actually end about here. We're going to cut that off with some trees. Some of the dirt continues up to this area. This field, it's going to have some dirt on the ground in between the rows of lemon trees. I'm going to get this top ridge of the mountains in the background. In the distance, the further away they are, the less clear they are, right? Because of the haze and the clouds. So it's okay if they're not as pronounced. The closer they get, the more detail they'll have, right? These will have the most detail in the photo, and it'll just kind of drift back. So that's why I use a little more mixing medium. Kind of thin that out. I'll have to hit that top with a smaller brush later. There's going to be lots of shadows here from this tree. Tree that I haven't painted yet. But there's some over here, trust me. If you were standing here, you'd see it. It's a little bit of a hill. It's going to have some shadows as well, coming off these bushes that I have yet to draw. Wait till I lay in that lush green. It's really going to make this fun. Car full of kids. He's painting. Had to wave. Okay. Let's keep adding layers of the background. So I'm gonna have a little bit of this mossy green in my brown. Just gonna hit this mountain range. Trying to add some different layers of that green into that background. Okay. Our paper towels are flying everywhere. Let me roll those up. Okay. And then come in with a different color green. That'll be a little closer to our eye. These orchards. We're going to fill this, the parts we missed in later. See that big clump fall off? My paintbrush, another one. All right, so these are going to be, like I said, the further back they go, the smaller they'll be. But we're going to keep it loose. We'll go into some detail later. Let's just lay out where things exist. Then we're going to have some of that same color back here. A lot of bushes. Kind of cover this background. Some of the bushes here are a little lighter, a little white to them on the tops. And they're old. I'm not sure. Well, I got some of that white on my brush. I'm going to add a little bit of brown. Let's get the trunk of this tree. That's kind of off to the side. Is that a birch tree? I don't know my trees as well as I should, probably. There's another one here. big tangled bush here. A little bit of our road. Let's add some of the dark shadows to the base of these trees. So you're going to see some here, but we're also going to have shadows cast on the other side. It's got to see the bottom of where these trees are all separate from one another. Same here, there'll be a lot of darkness on this ridge, these trees and bushes. Add some shadows, come across that lane. All right, let's get some more of that. You know what? I think I need to switch brushes, add a little more turpentine. Everything's starting to blend in a bad way. When that turpentine gets real low and all muddled into the same gray color, if you're not paying attention, all of your colors start to blend. Out of reach. Just a second. Put the cap on my turpentine. Okay, let's get back at it. I usually step to a little slightly smaller brush, but I'm not feeling it. I'm feeling even smaller than that. It's dry, so I gotta clean it off. Okay, I need some of that. The lane right here of that dirt. Let's hide all that white naked canvas. Bring some of those rich colors. Add a little bit of orange like I was talking about. I think it might add a good color to it. Trying to get the the dirt in there a little bit. The rich soil is producing these wonderful crops. But I'm a transplant to California, so that's why I am very interested in capturing all of California and seeing it all one canvas at a time. And so I'm just starting here in this location, and we'll branch off and go all over the place, I hope. That's the plan. Just filling in some blanks here. All right. I said I like this brush. I don't like this brush. It's all bristles are old and crunchy, and somebody didn't clean it properly. I have myself to blame. So we'll go back to the thicker brush that has some more points on the sides of the edges, and I can dance in some of these other parts. Now we have a bigger tree here off camera, but it still has some leaves. So let's bring in some of those dark leaves. Fill up this part of the canvas. Still trying to frame everything up so it all comes together in the end. Some of our bushes on the side of the painting. All right. All right, now I'm just kind of eyeballing it, getting the painting to look the way I want. And a little more of this permanent sap green is the name of it, permanent sap green. And then also viridian hue of green that I never used before, but it was on sale, and you know, when you got to save money. The trees back here, very big tree line. This area here. We're going to put some more palm trees right here, I believe. We'll make them even higher. Okay. Little bushes on the side. Just going back and forth, the colors I want to play with. If you feel like it's looking a little dark, I agree with you. But you see the tips of these. This orchard has all these bright colors on the top. So I'm going to add those in. Help further distinguish the rows. Fun thing about painting is everybody's picture looks different at the end. Unless you're all taught at the same school and you all have the same formula and you don't have anything interesting to paint. These seem to be a little more washed out, that touch of white with some of these ridge line here. Okay, let's make this dirt that's in between the rows a little brighter, because it looks like a brown painting. It's a much brighter painting in real life, a brighter location in real life. Hot out here. 83 degrees today. High noon. Not the ideal. That's why you can't see my face. Not ideal for painting. Usually painting in the mornings and the evenings. Look better on camera. In the subject looks better, but gotta paint when you can. And now I have the time and I can. I like that brush either. My eye's drawn to this ugly looking tree. We're gonna try to make it not so ugly. Give it some branches. All right, let's get some of those houses that are tucked in up on this hill. All right, so we do the houses. The paper towel is flying away again. Can you see that? Yeah, a little bit. And a lot of the houses around here have a lot of kind of Spanish tile roofs. I'm going to add some of that. All right, and I want to do my palm trees, but man, my brush is not acting up, or kind of acting up today, but we'll give it a shot. I think that'll really add something fun to it. Right, a small palm tree here, a tall. Another one here, another one here, another one here. I think we got a lone one hiding right here. All right. And so let's do some California palm trees. Yeah, different shape than the ones I used to paint in Florida. They kind of have this two-part, right? They got the bottom part, this upper part. In Florida, they would just sprout out from left to right, all over the place. These are like kind of double. Let's see. Okay, so that's good. I'm just gonna go in and dress this up where I overpainted. kind of fun. Thanks for watching, everyone. Today we were outside of Oxnard, California. We painted a beautiful lemon orchard with some mountains and palm trees and a little bit of everything California has to offer here in Southern California. See you next time. Hope you guys liked that painting. Just a reminder, the reason why I started this series, Painting California, is to help raise awareness to those art programs in rural areas across America who are underserved. A percentage of anything I sell throughout the year will go to one art program across the country, whether it's a small amount or a large amount. I think there's something I can do to give back to those smaller programs who don't have the adequate funding. This is why I choose to do this. And if you like what I'm doing here and you like the paintings I'm demonstrating, please like, subscribe, and comment. And maybe if you know of a school that could use some funding at the end of the year, let me know. Thanks for watching.